Good evening, my dear friends and colleagues, my respected seniors. I am Dr. Arnab Gangopadhyay. I am a geriatrician practicing in Chandanagar, Hooghly, West Bengal. Namaskar to all of you. Today, my topic of discussion is self-monitoring of blood glucose. This is especially important in this time of this pandemic when people are staying at home, unable to go for physical activity outside, having irregular dietary habits, having high stress levels, and many of them being unable to attend regular checkups at the clinic due to the lockdowns and various other restrictions that have been imposed in different parts of the country. I myself, from being West Bengal, we are facing a full lockdown from today for the next 15 days. So in this scenario, patients who are diabetic long term with complications, they need to monitor their blood glucose even more frequently and with much more rigor, so that diabetes cannot rear its ugly head in this time of the pandemic. Because as we all know, COVID is much serious and much complicated in patients with uncontrolled diabetes. So self-monitoring of blood glucose, or SMBG, is even more relevant today than it was perhaps 1 year ago. So let's start talking about self-monitoring of blood glucose, or SMBG. SMBG is an important component of modern therapy for diabetes mellitus. SMBG has been recommended by several guidelines for people with diabetes and their clinicians in order to achieve a specific level of glycemic control and to prevent hypoglycemia. The goal of SMBG is to collect detailed information about blood glucose levels at many times possible to be able to maintain a more constant glucose level. It can help in adjusting a therapeutic regimen in response to blood glucose values and to help individuals adjust their dietary intake, physical activity, and insulin doses to improve glycemic control on a day-to-day basis. How can SMBG aid in diabetes control? First, by facilitating the development of an individualized blood glucose profile, which can then guide clinicians in treatment planning for an individualized diabetic regimen. By giving people with diabetes and their families the ability to make appropriate day-to-day treatment choices in diet and physical activity, as well as in insulin or other agents. Third, by improving patients' recognition of hypoglycemia or severe hyperglycemia. And finally, by enhancing patient education and patient empowerment regarding the effects of lifestyle and pharmaceutical intervention on glycemic control. Now, how frequently and how to use self-monitoring of blood glucose? In SMBG, the patients have to perform a number of glucose tests each day or each week. The test most commonly involves pricking a finger with a lancet device to obtain a small blood sample, applying a drop of blood onto a reagent strip, and determining the glucose concentration by inserting the strip into a reflectance photometer for an automated reading. Test results are then recorded in a logbook or stored in the glucose meter's electronic memory. The frequency with which patients with diabetes should monitor their blood glucose levels varies from person to person. This would be described further with each patient profile. Insulin-treated patients should monitor blood glucose at least 4 times a day, most commonly fasting, before meals, and before bed. In addition, patients using insulin can benefit by obtaining postprandial blood glucose readings to help them more accurately adjust their insulin regimen. Patients treated with intermediate, short-acting, or rapid-acting insulin may benefit from SMBG data to make adjustments in their regimen. For patients with type 2 diabetes on oral therapy, Optimal SMBG frequency varies depending on the pharmaceutical regimen and whether patients are in an adjustment phase at their target for glycemic control. If the HbA1c seems to be within the target range, infrequent SMBG monitoring is appropriate, and vice versa. For patients whose diabetes is out of control or for those having medication initiated, however, SMBG data can be helpful in creating or modifying the diabetes management regimen. Persistent fasting hyperglycemia, for example, might indicate excessive hepatic glucose output, and patients experiencing this problem might derive benefit from using metformin, which has been shown to decrease nocturnal hepatic glucose output. People with type 2 diabetes who use insulin should perform SMBG at least 4 times per week, including at least 2 fasting and 2 postprandial values. Additional measurements at bedtime and before meals can also be obtained. Now, importance of training for SMBG, which primarily relies on us clinicians. To fully benefit from self-monitoring, it is essential that you be trained by a health professional. You means obviously the patients whom we are addressing. Your training should include the following elements: the technical aspects of self-monitoring, your blood glucose targets, when and how often to measure blood glucose, what action to take based on the readings obtained, re-evaluating every 3 to 6 months when and how often to self-monitor based on your clinical condition and readings. Without this information, self-monitoring of your blood glucose will not fulfill its potential. This could affect your motivation and the attainment of your goals. Now, how to make sure the results are accurate? You can verify that your glucose reader and strips are working together properly using the control solution that usually comes with the meter. To avoid false readings, your test strips and glucose meter must be in good condition. Some of the tips to be paid attention to: the expiry date printed on the test strip container has not been reached or exceeded. This is very important. The test strip container was not left open for a long time after you took out a test strip. The test strips are in their original container. The strips have been kept away from moisture and stored at a temperature between 4 and 30 degrees Celsius. The strips have not been contaminated by dust or other substances. There is no dust or dried blood on the opening of the test strip. The glucose meter has not been left in direct sunlight for a long time. The glucose meter has not been exposed to moisture or to temperatures below 5 degrees Celsius or higher than 30 degrees Celsius. The glucose meter has not been dropped or been in contact with a liquid. These are the points that you should always remember and inspect before taking your blood glucose reading with a glucometer. Now, to conclude, blood glucose self-monitoring is a self-control tool for diabetes. However, taking readings more often and at other times than those recommended or without training may not provide any clinical benefits. For some people, self-monitoring can even be stressful. Training is essential because it is important to know how often you need to measure your blood glucose, how to interpret the reading, what action you need to take in response, and how independent you feel regarding your diabetes. That is what we wanted to discuss today. That was my short message to all people who are suffering from diabetes. Be very careful, be very cautious about your diabetes control. The COVID is very severe in diabetic patients. So stay safe, wear mask, use physical distancing, and we can overcome this pandemic as well as the dreaded disease that is diabetes, which millions of people are affected in our country. Thank you. Stay safe. See you again later. Namaskar.